Hey there. You know what today is? Well, let me share a photo and I'll kind of give you a hint. So, this is Flynn. So today is Flynn's anniversary. He joined the company on this day in 2011, 13 years ago. So, for those of you who have not had the privilege of working alongside Flynn, also known as Don Juan Obando, there are three things I can say about him. He's a perpetual learner. He's a great keeper of the culture, and he's a fantastic teammate. So let me describe. So Flynn is always on top of the latest technical trends, best practices, and evolution. Not only is he thinking about how to improve his own work, but also that of the entire team. And as you know, continuous improvement is a fundamental principle of Agile and Agileana. So we learn as we get feedback and as we iterate, and this is part of what makes Flynn a great and genuine Agilist. So when others ask him for guidance, he points people in the right direction, but doesn't really give them the detailed map. Why? Well, I mean, he really wants people to learn how to solve things on their own and not have to really depend upon him. He's always willing to support others without necessarily micromanaging them. And as a team member, he's very much a fabric of our culture, if not the cultural leader. Before we hired a robot to congratulate people on their birthday through Slack, Flynn was always one of the first ones to remember birthdays and say happy birthday. Some would say that he actually keeps our culture alive. So, speaking of culture, Flynn is also passionate about learning other cultures. He's taken the time to learn Korean, not only the language, but also the food. He's quite talented in the kitchen. He can probably give you a decent debate on the right knife to use and maybe even the angle in which to sharpen it. Um, Not long ago, Flynn has traveled to Korea and Japan, separate occasions, several weeks at a time, to become intimately familiar with the culture. In fact, I think probably Flynn's ideal lifestyle would be that of a digital nomad spending 6 to 8 weeks in a different city for the rest of his life. Something that probably a lot of us maybe fantasize about. But he actually does it. He always keeps the conversations lighthearted with his memes and his phrases. He loves cracking jokes, making the team feel comfortable and at ease. Um, but unlike mine, his jokes are always clean and appropriate. In general, I mean, he's just like the epitome of a teammate. Smart, proactive, dedicated, reliable, trustworthy, dependable, never lets you down. I've had the personal pleasure of knowing Flynn for 13 years. And for those of you who know me, I sometimes get a little carried away when I travel with the local spirits. And inevitably, Flynn assumes the role of my bodyguard. He holds my money, pays for my entertainment, because I'm a dangerous man with money in my pocket. So he ensures that I get home before the sun comes up, before my wife wakes up, although usually she's at the door waiting with a baseball bat. But Flynn also puts up with my mood swings. It's really, really hard to run a business. I mean, it's the hardest job I've ever had in my life. I dare anybody to try it. It can be quite frustrating and heartbreaking. And at times I take these frustrations out on the people closest to me. But Flynn, he takes it in stride, never takes it personally, knows that I only have the best of intentions for the company and for our collective future and outcomes. So, and another thing a lot of people, maybe not everybody knows about, but since our inception, we've been on the brink of collapse a few times. But Flynn has always hung in there, never abandoned ship, never threatened to leave, never demanded a raise, never held me hostage. In fact, I don't think he's even ever asked for a raise. We've given him raises multiple times, but it's all based on his merit and just observation of being, just great at what he does. Finally, one more thing you should probably know about Flynn. He's an Apple nut. Total fanboy of Steve Jobs. I think he's got a version of every iPhone that's probably still shrink wrapped in a box. Um, and some may still be, I don't know, whatever. He collects iPhones, original iPhones. For his 10th anniversary, we bought him 3 shares of Apple stock. Hopefully that's doing well for you. But anyway, to my brother, my friend, my colleague, happy anniversary. Love you, man.